Hello Tamers and welcome to the BT-13 tournament's The Roundtable Conference. What you see before you are 8 decks on the left, 8 decks on the right, for a total of 16. There are just way too many decks I want to showcase from BT-13, and since we have a 3-month break until the next products, ST15 and ST16, which should be coming out around end May, I thought why not? Will this kill me? Maybe. We'll see how it goes. But first, let's begin by determining the matchups. In round 1, Craniamon, what a nice start, versus a fellow member of the Royal Knights, UlforceVeedramon, but using his new X support from BT-12, which I've yet to feature. Round 2, Examon. Looks like we're starting off with some Royal Knight matchups against Kentaurosmon, or Slatemon. Pretty cool. Next, round 3, Yggdrasil is already appearing himself, featuring the rest of the Royal Knights not being represented in the other decks, versus Ravemon Burst Mode. Okay, so we have a proper clash over here. Round 4, Rosemon Burst Mode versus Shine Greymon Burst Mode, a battle between allies. Now moving on to the second block, we are starting with the new Alphamon support versus Jesmon. Wow, a pretty interesting matchup I'd like to see. Followed by the Chessmon deck versus Leopardmon with the new Leopard mode supports. And followed by the next round is gonna be King Atamon versus the new Bird supports, which means the final match will be Mirage Galgamon Burst Mode versus Balphamon Rage Mode. Another fitting matchup for the Saber story. Dice roll. Ulforce X is going first. Security setup. Digimon standby. Let's open the digital gates. Hatching, Wanyamon evolves into Vmon. Then, for 4 cost, Davis is played. On play search, 1, 2, and 3, Veedramon 0 added to the hand. Turnover, hatching, Tumblemon evolves into Sunarizamon. Then, for 2 cost into Mercurymon. For another 2 cost, ST5 Tai is played. And finally, for 3, Mercurymon evolves into Gigadramon. Turnover, Vmon is kept in the raising area. First for 2 cost, it evolves into Veedramon. Then for 3, into Aero Veedramon. Turnover, and Gigadramon moves out. Of course, with its jamming, it goes for security. Check. 2k on Vmon, it survives. And now, for 5 cost. Absolute defense is his creed. Here comes the unbreakable shield of the Royal Knights, Craniamon. 1 draw. On evolve, this Digimon isn't affected by the effects of your opponent's Digimon until the end of your opponent's turn. So no bouncing Ulforce. Turnover. During the active phase with the reboots from Gigadramon's Inheritable, Craniamon unsuspends, turning into an active blocker. Draw, but with Craniamon on the field, there is no way Aero Veedramon is stepping out. First, for 3 cost, Vmon is played. On play search, 1, 2, and 3, they can choose V-Tamer Tai and Veedramon. And for 2 cost, Vmon evolves into Veedramon. But at the end of the opponent's turn, Craniamon's effect triggers. You may choose one of your opponent's Digimon. The chosen Digimon attacks. Right now, the only target is Veedramon. However, Craniamon's forced attack cannot override conditions that prevent attacking, such as summoning sickness. So even though Veedramon is selected, since it's a Digimon that was just played this turn, it cannot attack and nothing happens. Turnover, hatching, Tumblemon, which evolves into Espimon. And now Craniamon will go for security. With Sunarizamon's Inheritable, while this Digimon is black and has 13k DP or more, it gains security attack +1. And Cranium has exactly 13k. So 2 checks. First, 7k on Aero Veedramon, trashed. Second, it's the same Aero Veedramon, trashed as well. Then for 2 cost, Espimon will evolve into Gladimon. And finally, for 2, Craniamon will be blessed by the Breath of the Gods. One of your Digimon gains reboots and it can't have its DP reduced or be returned to its owner's hand or deck until the end of your opponent's next turn, effectively extending Craniamon's effect protection since its on-evolve has already expired. And with that, turnover. At the start of the turn, Davis bumps the memory up to 3, reboots, draw, and Aero Veedramon's gotta step out. because currently, Craniamon has next turn lethal. First, Veedramon will use its main effect, suspending itself to search the top 3 cards of the deck. 1, 2, and 3. That is the best haul I have ever seen from this deck. 2 BT-11 Renas now being added to the hand. And now for 4 cost. Let a ray of victory shine upon this battlefield. Here comes the swiftest soldier of the Royal Knights as Veedramon evolves into UlforceVeedramon. 1 draw. On evolve, you may play 1 blue tamer from your hand at no cost. Here comes Rena. With her on play, she gives blocker and evade to Ulforce until the end of the opponent's turn. Next, with the inheritable of Veemon from under Veedramon, gain 1 memory. And with Veedramon's inheritable from under Ulforce, they gain another memory. Now with Ulforce's second effect, when you play a blue tamer, unsuspend. Triggering Rena's third effect, when one of your blue Digimon becomes unsuspended, gain another memory. Which also triggers Ulforce's third effect to bounce, but with only 2 blue Tamers on their field, they can only target level 5 or lower. But of course, if Craniamon hadn't used Breath of the Gods, they could have always played a smaller Tamer first in order to target Craniamon at level 6. And finally, for 6 cost, UlforceVeedramon will borrow the mercy of the Omega in Force, momentarily transforming into Omnimon Merciful Mode. 1 draw. On evolve, for each card with Mega in their traits in this Digimon's evolution cards, delete 1 of your opponent's Digimon. Right now, they only have Ulforce, but that's more than enough. They target Craniamon, because although it is immune to DP- and bounce thanks to Breath of the Gods, it is no longer immune to deletion from opposing Digimon effects. The absolute defense at 14k DP is crushed. Then, place 10 cards from your opponent's trash at the bottom of your deck in any order. Right now, Craniamon only has 6, so the main deck cards are shuffled to deck bottom with Craniamon below, and Tumblemon returns to the bottom of the Digi-Egg deck. So now Ulforce doesn't have to worry about his Digimon being forced to attack. Turn over, Gladimon moves out. But although it is all ready to take a cheap shot at security with its jamming, it can't do so because this merciful mode still has blocker from Rena's on play. So instead for 3 cost, it will evolve into Gyromon, and then 4-5, back into the Knight of Absolute Defense, Craniamon. 1 draw. And once again on evolve, it becomes immune to opposing Digimon effects until the end of the opponent's turn. Turn over. At the start of the turn, Merciful Mode's effect triggers, trash the top card of this Digimon, and if you do, trash the top card of your opponent's security. So it will revert back to Ulforce, taking with it Craniamon's top security, just a Mercurymon. Draw, hatching, Wanyamon, which evolves into Veemon. Now first, Ulforce goes for security. With Wanya's inheritable, draw. They have too many cards in the hand to draw from ST8 Veemon's inheritable. And with Veedramon's inheritable, Rena's on play is triggered to give Ulforce blocker and evade once again. Now it's time to activate Rena's second effect when one of your Digimon with Veedramon in its name becomes suspended. By suspending this Tamer, activate one of the Digimon's on-evolve effects. So Ulforce can now play another free Tamer, a second Rena, triggering the inheritables of the Veedramon under Ulforce and the Veemon under Veedramon for memory +2. Ulforce unsuspends, triggering both Renas for another memory +2. So now Ulforce is going for security unsuspended at 12k DP. Meanwhile, Craniamon gains +1k DP from Tumblemon's inheritable and +2k from SPmon's, rising to a total of 16k. Strong enough to defeat most of the level 7 Digimon. And with ST5 Tai on his field, he can block twice. But since Ulforce can simply evade, now is not the right time yet. He lets it through. Check. But it is 13k on another copy of himself, which finishes off Ulforce. But of course with evade, he suspends himself to narrowly avoid deletion. So now Ulforce has to somewhat rethink his plans. First, for 3 cost, he evolves Veedramon into another copy of Veedra. Then, suspending it for its main effect, 1, 2, and 3, there's another copy of Rena added to the hand. And then, 4-4, Veedra will evolve into a second copy of UlforceVeedramon. 1 draw. And with its on-evolve, a third Rena is played, triggering the Veedramon inheritable under the new Ulforce for memory +1. And now both Ulforces unsuspend, triggering the newly played Rena for another memory. Now the upper Ulforce continues its onslaught on security, suspending the second Rena to play a fourth. So unsuspend again and trigger Rena for memory +1. Craniamon doesn't block. Check. 2k on SPmon. Trash. Ulforce goes again, suspending the third Rena, this time to play Davis for free. On play search. 1, 2, and 3, they choose Veedramon. Unsuspend again, no block, check, 1k on Gotsumon, trash. And of course the upper Ulforce will go again, suspending the 4th and final Rena to play BT-2 Rena for free on play search, 1, 2, and 3. Oh man, that's a V-Tamer tie going to deck bottom. They choose Vmon. So Ulforce unsuspends again, and final security check for Craniamon, who still doesn't choose to block. And it is 2k on SBmon, trash. But now, Ulforce is all out of BT-11 Renas, and without her, he can't unsuspend while attacking, which means he can't evade to survive if Craniamon chooses to block. And Craniamon still has 2 blocks left, 1 for each Ulforce. However, that is exactly what this new card is for 1 cost. Using the X-Antibody to draw out the full power of the Ulforce, UlforceVeedramon will now achieve unmatchable speed as it evolves into UlforceVeedramon X. 1 draw. On evolve, unsuspend this Digimon or one of your blue Tamers. They choose to unsuspend one of their Renas. So now the bottom Ulforce can attack, suspending Rena to play another copy of BT-2 Rena for free. On play search, 1, 2, and 3, they pick Ulforce X. So Ulforce unsuspends, and Craniamon has no choice but to block. First, with the new BT-13 Gyromon's inheritable during the opponent's turn. Once per turn, when one of your Digimon becomes suspended, trash the top card of your opponent's security. Just an arrow. And with ST5 tie, he's suspended to unsuspend Craniamon for a second defense. They clash, Craniamon emerges victorious, but Ulforce survives with evade. Such that now, for 2 cost, they can drop V-Tamer tie in order to unsuspend Ulforce. The bottom Ulforce goes for another swing. Craniamon has no choice but to block, and once and for all, UlforceVeedramon is taken out. No more evades up its sleeve. But with that, Craniamon is all out of defenses. Drawing power from V-Tamer tie and the 2 BT-2 Renas, UlforceVeedramon X attacks. Craniamon has no security remaining and no active blockers on the field. It's a direct attack and the match is over. The winner is UlforceVeedramon X.